Okay guys, you can see my front end and back end is both are running. My backend is running on 4000 and front is on 5173. Now it's time to integrate our front end with the backend. You can see here in our index.js file, I am using app.use course, then origin is this. This origin is our front end URL, and here I am using credentials true. It means every request will send the cookie to the front end. Okay, and when and this cookie will be checked, authenticated, that our user is logged in or not. So let me just close all these files, and in the front end I will open package.json file. Here you can see we don't have any package named with the Axios. We need to install Axios because we will use Axios to call the APIs. For that you can use npm i Axios. It will install Axios in our front end. Let it install. Okay, there is a spelling mistake. It is npm i Axios, like this. So it will install Axios in our backend directory. So just wait for a while. Okay, our Axios is installed. Let me run my front end again, npm run dev. So my front end is running. You can see here we have Axios installed now. Let me close this package.json file and I will open .env in our front end. You can see here in the front end directory I will open env file, and here we need to give our backend URL. So our backend is running on port 4000. You can see here 4000. We are doing this so because we need to write our first base URL again and again whenever we will call the API. So that's why we will define our base URL in this env. So let me do this. You can see here you can do like this. You we will use read underscore base URL like this, and here we will define our base URL, which is our backend URL. So our base URL is 4000, like this. So you will write like this. This is done. Our backend URL is done in our front end env file. Now we will open our src, and inside src we will open context, and in context we will use app.context to import the Axios. Let me import this. So I will do here. I will import Axios from Axios like this. And after that we need to do default configuration for the Axios, so that whenever we will use Axios it will use some default configuration. For that we will use Axios dot defaults dot base URL like this, and we will use import dot meta dot env like this. So our base URL is like this, base URL. So I will copy this and I will paste here. So it will fetch the base URL from the env file axios.defaults.base URL. This base URL is property of defaults for the Axios, and we will also use here axios.defaults dot we will use here now, instead of base URL we will use here credential with credentials. So here is with credentials and it will be true. So every request will be checked if user is authenticated or not whenever user need to be authenticated. Okay, this is done. Now what we need to do, we just pass this Axios into our value object so that we can use in our other pages like this. We will pass this into our value object. Now what we need to do, I will just close these files and I will open my pages, and inside pages we will go into the signup.jsx, and here we need to use Axios. For that we will import Axios from our store like this, and here you can see we have submit handler. Instead of this, like close, clear this, and we will use a try catch because we need to call API here. Whenever our user will sign up, our data is stored in the database. For that I will use your const. I will destructure the data from our response. So like this I will use await axios dot post, and here I am using await. For that I will use here async because await is only used with the async. You can know this better. Okay, axios dot paste, and here we will use our URL. So our base URL is already done in our env file. We just need to write here our other URL like this. I am going to show here is our index.js file. You can see here we have this /API/auth. I will just copy this and paste inside this like this, and in front of this I need to go in auth router, and here you can see we have sign up. So I will just use sign up here like this. Now our API is called like this, and here I will just do form data. I will pass form data to the backend. This form data will be like this: form data, name, email and password. So this is done, and now we will check here if data.success. It means if our response is true. If data.success, then we will use your toast, and toast.success data.message. This data.message is coming from our backend. Then we will navigate to the login, and we will use here set user true. It means set user. So sorry, we don't need here set user. We will use set user in our login. So set user don't need, and inside this else we will use here post.error then data.message. I will just copy this, and inside this catch I will paste it. Instead of data.message we will use here error.message like this. Okay, this is done. Now what we need to do, we need to check this API, it is working or not. So let me check my database name. Inside this env we have database name, so we don't have any database name. So for that I will use a database name. Okay, we have defined our database name in our MongoDB atlist, but again I will use a grocery. Okay, let me save this, and I will just visit my front end. You can see here our front end. Let me open localhost 5173. Okay, please wait a minute. What is the problem? Why it is taking too much time? I think my system is gone slow. Okay, you can see here we have our front end. I will just click on this login, and inside this I will use sign up, and here I will use name John, and email will be john@gmail.com like this, and I will use password 12345, and I will click on this sign up. So you can see user created successfully, and we are redirected to the login page. It means our user is registered. Let me see in the database. I will use MongoDB Atlas. So we will open and sign in into MongoDB Atlas. So continue with the Google. It is signing in. You can see here we have grocery store app, and we will click on this browse collections. And here you can see we have users collection, and here is username, then this is the email, and this is the password. So our user is stored successfully. I want to do one thing in our env. You can see here is our, okay, here is our MongoDB URL. I want to copy this, and inside my MongoDB compass I will use this, because we don't want to go again and again in our MongoDB, at least it will take too much time. So for that I will just use here this connection plus icon. I will click on this and I will use my URL like this. Okay, and let me just close this grocery. Okay, and let me save and connect. This is saved, and I will just click on OK. Don't need to reload. So you can see here we have test. Inside test we have users. So here we have this user. So now we don't need to go inside the MongoDB atlas. We can see our data in our MongoDB compass. Let me create one more user. So I will just click on this sign up, and I will use here this name and this email account, and I will use password. Let me click on this sign up. So user created successfully, and this is our MongoDB atlas. If I click on this refresh, you can see it is taking too much time. So to see test it, you can see this is our other user. To test this we will use now our MongoDB compass. I will just click on this. You can see here we have two users. So I am going to close this MongoDB atlas. Okay, I hope you have got my point. Now it's time to login. For that I will come in my VS Code, and this is our sign up. Just close this and just close this and close this. Here is my login.jsx, and from our store we will use here Axios like this, and in our submit handler I will just close this, and we will use here try catch. Here we will use const data is equal to await axios.post like this, and I will use here async like this. You can see here we have api/x/auth/login. Then we are passing our form data, and here also we will check if data.success, if data.success, then we will use here post message, and then we will use here set user true. Just we need set user true, and inside this navigate we will navigate to slash home page. Then we will use else. Inside else we will show toast, and I will copy this toast and paste inside this catch statement. Instead of data.message we will use error.message. Okay, I hope you have got this point. Now we will check our login API also. Let me just click on this. This is our email, registered email, and I will use your password 12345, and I am going to click on this login. So here you can see we have internal server error. So let me open my backend, and we will see what is the problem here. So we don't have any problem here. This is our /API/auth and /login. Let me check my API endpoint in index.js/auth. Then this is auth router, and here you can see post slash login, like open my login function, and here we will use you can see I will just console my email and password here. You can debug your application like this, email and password. So we will check if our email and password is in console, then there is no problem in our front end. Let me click on this login. Okay, you can see here we have our email and password. It means we are our front end is okay. But you can see here one problem here. This is user. Okay, user is good. Then here is password, and here you can see this is done. Response dot cookies. Okay, let me just console this token, and I will just console this token. Sorry, we will see our token is generated or not. Again I will click login, and here you can see we don't have token, so it means we have problem in our token somewhere. So here we will just check user. Let me copy this console and paste below this user, and we will use here like this. Okay, now again click on this login. So you can see here user is null. It means we don't have user. So you can see here we are finding our user before, and we are checking if is match. Okay, it means we are on the wrong way, because we need to check this is match before. Okay, let me just check one thing. Here is our email. Sorry guys, here is our email. Let me check this. John. I will just refresh the John, and password is 12345. Let me click on this login. So status with the 400. So here we are getting our email. So let me see, we have user, and here we have email, but we are not getting this user dot find one email. Let me check what is the problem with this user dot find in our auth controller. User dot find one. Let me like this, and here we will use if not of user. User does not exist, success will be false. Just try one more time. Okay, let me just inspect this, and we will check here our network request. What is the problem in our network request? I will just click on this login, and here you can see we have bad request. Localhost 4000/API/login method is post 400 bad request. Okay, request dot body. Just do okay. So it is user dot find one, then there is email. Sorry. Let me just debug this. Visma. Okay, our user is null. It means we don't have user. Okay, let me just delete this connection like this. I think this is creating a problem again. Okay guys, I have got the issue. The problem was with my MongoDB Atlas. So what I did, I have changed my this URL. Now I am using MongoDB Compass. You can see here, this is my URL of MongoDB Compass, and here I have our database name. You can get this URL from your MongoDB Compass like this. You will click on this three dots, and here you will get this copy connection string. This URL will be copied to your keyboard and you can paste it like this. Okay, then in front of this slash you will write your database name. So I have did like this, and now I am getting this user when I try to log in. Let me just try one more time. I will just clear my terminal. Let me try one user. I will just click on this logout and I will just log in and sign up with the name like this, Akshay. And here you use akshay@gmail.com. Password will be 12345. I will just click on this sign up. So I have this toast. You can see here I have grocery store database name, and inside this I have users collection. I will just click on this refresh icon, and here you can see this is the record. And if I try again akshay@gmail.com, then I will just give password and clicking on this login. You can see login successful, and this is what I changed here. Okay, and inside this auth controller I have changed one more thing, that is I was using here response.cookies, but the method is response.cookie. You will like this. Okay, so let me close here any console if we have. So we don't have any console. Okay, now what we need to do, we have done our sign up login, and what remains, that is logout. So just call this logout in our front end. So we will open VS Code, and inside this components folder we have navbar, and here you can see we have this logout. So I will just import Axios from our store, and this is our logout. I will use just try and catch statement like this, and I will just here use const will destructure data from our response await axios.get like this. Use this like async. Okay, this is done. Axios.data, and here we will use slash API slash auth slash logout like this. Okay, this is done. And if we will check if data.success like this, we will use here set user true, and we will navigate to slash this page, and we will use your toast. In case of any error, we will use your else statement like this. I will just copy this toast and paste inside this catch statement, and here we will use error.message like this. Okay, this is done. We are referencing this logout in our logout function. Here you can see here we have logout, and on this on click we have this reference of logout. So if I click on this logout now, you can see we have logout successfully. Okay, this is done. And now what we need to log in admin as well. If I click on this admin, you will see this is admin login. For that I will just close all this, close saved, and I will open my admin pages, and inside this we have this admin login, and here we will use xuse from our store, and inside this submit handler I will call this, I will just copy this submit handler and paste inside this, because everything is same. Just we need to change here slash API slash admin instead of this login, because we have our endpoint now admin slash API slash admin slash login. This is form data. If we have success, then we will use here set admin like this, and we will navigate to slash admin. Okay, in case of any error we have this else and this. Okay, this is done. Now let me just try this login. I will use here, we have admin credentials in our env file. You can see here we have slash this admin, email and password is admin123. So let me try this email, and I will use admin123. I will click this login. Okay, let me inspect this. I will console. Let me click on this. Though you can see here I am clicking on login, but it's not working. So what we need here, let me just check here this submit handler. In form we have this submit handler. Okay, here type will be submit, button type will be submit, and I will click on this login. Admin example, password will be admin123. Okay, inside this network request. Okay, here is some issue. Let me see my API endpoints in index.js. Here we have slash API slash admin, then inside this we have login. Okay, and here we have slash API slash admin and then login, and you can see here we have xuse.post, and inside this we have a post method. Okay, and inside this admin login, let me open this admin login, and here we have our login. Just I will console here email and password. Let me try one more time. I will just check. Okay, here we have too many network requests. Okay, click on this. So here you can see we have our email and password. It means our front end is okay. We have problem in our backend. So this is our env file, and here we have admin email. Let me confirm this. This is admin email and this is admin password. It is correct. And process dot, and here we will use, you can see here we are using response dot cookies, but we need here response dot cookies, just like this. We have this issue. Now it will work perfectly. Let me try again. I will click on this login. You can see login successful. This is logged in. And now we need to do logout same for we did user. So let me just go in navbar, and here we have this logout. I will just copy this logout, and inside this admin layout, here we have admin layout. Here you can see we have this logout. I will just replace this with this, and our API endpoint will be slash API slash admin, and instead of set user we will use set admin, like this. Okay, this is done, and we will, okay, after log out we will redirect to the home page, and I will just use here Axios, like this. Okay, this is done. Let me just click on this logout. Okay, this is not responding correctly. What is logout slash API if data.success tools.success index.js slash API slash admin, then this is logout, and inside this logout we will see here, okay, response.clear cookie. Let me inspect this. I will open network tab and click on this. You can see here not found. Our request will be get, I think we have post request in our admin routes. You can see here log out, we have misspell like this. This is log out, not log out. Now if I click on this, you can see log out successfully. Okay, this is done. We have completed our authentication for user and admin as well. Now there is one problem. If I log in with the Gmail like Bisma, okay, you can see this is login successful. If I click on this refresh button, you can see our user is logged out. We don't want this. So to prevent this, we will create one middleware. Let me open my VS Code, and inside this middleware folder, you can see here we have middlewares. Inside this middleware folder, first let me close all these. Inside this middleware I will create a new file, is auth.js, and here we will use import JWT from JSON web token. Okay, and I will use here try export const is auth, and we will use here request response and next parameter, like this, and we will use here try catch. This is try catch, and here we will use, here we will destructure token from request.cookies, like this, and we will check here if not of token. If not of token, we will use here this. Okay, then we will use here const decoded, like this, then we will use jwt dot verify, and we will pass token, this token here, and we will use secret key from our env. Okay, if this is done, then we will use request.user, then decoded, and we will use next, like this. Okay, inside this catch we will use here this return statement, and inside this request.user we have our id. Let me console this request.user so you can understand better what is inside this request.user. Okay, this is done. Now we need to apply this middleware on our logout, because only logged in user can log out. This middleware is used to check if our user is logged in or not. If our user is logged in, then only we can log out that user. So we are already exporting that, and inside this our auth routes. Here we need to apply middleware is auth. You can see this suggestion. I will just separate this with comma, and our middleware is done. So when we log out user, now we will show in console what is inside this request.user, because we are consoling this request.user. Let me log out the user. First I will log in the user. So you can see we are logged in. If I click on this logout, you can see logout successful, and inside this we can see we have id of the user inside this request.user. Here we have id of user. Okay, this is done. I hope you have understood completely this middleware. Now what we need to do, we need to check that if our user is logged in. We don't want to log out and refresh the page. For that I will just close this, and inside this controllers, and inside this auth controller below this logout function I will use here export check auth, like async and request response parameter, and inside this try catch, like this. Here we use const id is equal to request dot user, because inside request dot user we have id, so I am destructuring that id. Export const. Okay, so we will find our user. Const user is equal to await user dot find by id. It means if our user is available, then we will just check like this. If our user is available, then we will just send response success true and user. We don't actually need this user, we just need success true. Okay, and inside this catch we will use this statement response.json. Okay, this our check auth is done. It will check that our user is logged in or not. Okay, now what we need to do, we just need to make the route for this api. I will just router.get. Here we will use is auth, like this, and this is done. This middleware will be used here because it is used to check that our user is logged in or not, and inside this logger we will use here check auth. Okay, this is done. Now we need to call this api in our store, and it will run the api, and it will be called in our use effect. Let me do, you will get under properly. Here I will use here const check auth, like this, and it will be async, and we will use a try catch. Use const data is equal to await axios.get. Okay, and we will use here like this. This is our api endpoint. We have created is auth, not check auth. This is auth. Okay, and here we will check if data.success, then we will use here set user group, like this. Okay, in case of any error we will use else statement here, and here we will use log console data, and here we will use log error. Now what will this API do? It will check that if our this API is done correctly run. If our data.success, this success is coming from our API, this is the success. From here this is coming. And if data.success, it means our user is logged in. So we need to call this function in our use effect. You can see here we have use effect, and in dependency array we did not pass anything. It means this use effect run on every render or whenever our application reload. So I will just call like this it check auth. Okay, this is done. Now you can see we don't have login. I am going to log in the user. Just log in the user. This is my user, like this. Okay, you can see here we will login. If I click now this refresh icon, you can see our user is still login, not logged out. Okay, because we have logged in our user, and our this API is, or this method, we can see this method is checking if our user is logged in, then set user is true. It means our user will be logged in. Okay, this is done. Now we need to create middleware for our admin also. Let me just close this and close this and also close this. Okay, and inside this middleware folder, like this, I will create one more, which is admin.js, and I will just duplicate this is auth. Okay, like this, and it will be is admin. Okay, and this will be same, and here we will use const to decode it. It will be like this. It will be same like above in our user, and inside this, sorry, below this we will use if decoded.email email is not equal to process.env.admin email. It means if logged in user email, sorry, the user who is trying to log in, the email of that user is not equal to the email which is available in our env. If not, both are not same, then we will use your unauthorized. Okay, I hope you got the problem. Then we will use your request.admin, like this, and here we will use decoded like this, and we will call your next function already that is called here. Okay, this is done. Now what we need to do, we just need to use this in our admin routes. You can see here we have admin routes, and before this logout we will use here is admin, because or only logged in admin can be logged out. Okay, here is admin is imported. This is done. Now if I log out this, okay, let me see what is the problem here. I will just open console, and if I click in network request, okay, you can see log out successfully. Our user is logged out. Now I am going to log in admin. This is the admin, password is admin123. So you can see login successful. If I click on this logout, it is logged out. Okay, now you can see if I again login admin, and if I refresh this, our admin is getting logged out. We don't want this. So for that, what will we do? We will just open our admin controller, and before this we will use export const check admin, like this. We will use async request and response like this, and here we will use try and catch. Actually we don't need here try catch, we just need here const email, just we will return a response dot status. Okay, this is done. You can also put it inside the try catch like this. Okay, this is done, and inside this we will use response error like this. Okay, this will check if our admin is logged in or not. How it will check? We will just create one route and apply this middleware is admin. Let me check admin is admin. So we will use here is admin, and this will be middleware, and this middleware is checking that our admin is logged in or not, and here we will use check admin. This is the controller function which is imported from the admin controller. Okay, this is done. Now we just need to go in our app context, and here you can see we have checkout. Just to duplicate this checkout, I will just copy and paste below this, and it will be check admin, and here we will use /api/admin, and input will be is admin. Okay, and but here we will check if data.success, then here we will use set admin true like this. Okay, and in console, in case of any error we will console the error, and in case statement we will also use this console. Now we need to just call this in our use effect. If our admin is logged in, on refreshing the page, our admin will still logged in, not log out. Let me test this. Okay, if I click on this logout, you can see our admin is logged out. Now if I again click on this admin like this, password will be admin123. Click on this login, you can see we are logged in as admin. If I click on this refresh icon, you can see our admin is still logged in, it is not logging out. This is we have done so far. So our authentication is completed, we have done secure authentication. So let's take a small break. After that we will just work on this add category and add product.